Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sewagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machindye, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiza Besije every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are the Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi, welcome to the Political Dice.
Empishi ebyobufuzi.
It's controversial,
Purely political,
well researched,
accurate and global.
Oyagala bya parliament oba council.
Yes, State House oba ghetto.
Ani ayuga ku ground.
Ani gwe babuze.
Okimanyi nga Dr. Kiza Besije aleesa amaanyi.
Olwofadda bafutoli abateeseemu obuvaazi.
Oba yo DP eri kuki?
Olwojema.
Bano ba MKCG bo baddawa.
Abo bafuna CDF baamala tebabanja. Olwo baba ate bange bali kuki?
Abo bo akina kulabisa simanyanga posturing tebabiri mbali mu structure building. Naye ate ono ye.
Ani oyo oba?
Yali kuki?
Oyo tumuleketa gamba mpanyiga mawu.
Ebe ndabena birindira no kuda Political Dice ku the Alternative Digitalk nange Teddy Tenja ewamune.
Farida Bikobere
Buli wa Sunday sawa 2.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of the Mighty Drive Show. Today is the 9th day of July 2024. We are halfway into this particular year, and of course we are here having a conversation with Uganda. As we promised and committed that every particular morning we break down having a conversation with you so that you can have the right information but also make informed decisions. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. I would love to wish someone a birthday today. Esther, it's your birthday today, the 9th of July. Enjoy your day, and as Digitalk TV, would love to wish you the best in your endeavors. Anyways, away from birthday shout-outs, the country continues to look, gloomy to some extent, but also there's a bit of hope that is going on. As we speak today, Anderson Burorwa, the former RCC for Rubaga, will be appearing before court. This gentleman was arrested in line with some charges that were about the Computer Misuse Act. Remember, these days you are not supposed to really talk anything at the comfort of your tabloid, because now there is a law that really regulates how you use that particular platform. So, Burorwa Anderson was actually charged, and today he's going to be appearing before court. Many people think these things, or these accusations or allegations, are actually things that are attacking him personally because of some of his political sentiments or beliefs, especially about the Speaker of Uganda and corruption that is thriving in the country. Remember, President Museveni continues his fight for corruption, even if various Ugandans do not see him as someone who's serious about fighting corruption. But that and much more is some of the things that you can find on our website, on our social media platforms. We are at Digitalk TV, that is on Facebook, on YouTube, Alternative Uganda still Facebook and YouTube and all other social media platforms. But you can also check through our website. There are stories there at thealternativeuganda.org. You can find all the particular shows and some of the articles that we've written as Digitalk TV on that particular website. This morning, I'm privileged and humbled to be joined by a group of young lawyers. I'm always happy. In fact, it's a pair, not a group. A pair of young lawyers. I'm always happy and privileged to have young people debating some of the issues that are affecting this country, and of course trying to create a better Uganda through this conversation. So tonight, or this morning, I have Mr. Filbert Opeitum. He is the CEO for Seed of Article 4. I don't know what that actually means, that particular entity, but he'll be telling you that, more about that particular entity. But I'm also joined by Phionah Nshemerirwe, still from the same organization, but this time around she is the Director for Legal Affairs at the Seed of Article. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. I'll start with you, Filbert.
Thank you. Morning to you.
You're welcome. I'm really humbled to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for the host.
I'm privileged. Nshemerirwe.
Yes.
Phionah, did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, that's the right pronunciation.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the host.
Happy to see you.
I'm privileged to be here.
Great. I'll start with you, Filbert. If people do not know who Filbert is, do you want to just fill us in your story as a person, but then you will also add in a bit of what a Seed for Article represent?
The real name is Seeds of Article 4.
Seeds of Article 4.
Yes.
Thank you for that clarification. Seeds of Article 4.
Yes. Yes, by the names I'm Opeitum Filbert, a Pan-Africanist, a patriot, a nationalist, and also a person who loves himself. In simple terms, as you have said, I have to talk something about Seeds of Article 4. Seeds of Article 4, we derive its name from Article 4 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995 as amended.
Okay.
And it prescribes, Article 4 specifically prescribes promotion of public awareness of the Constitution. And it provides that the state shall promote public awareness of this Constitution.
Exactly.
By providing for the teaching of the Constitution in all educational institutions and disseminating it as widely as possible. To be by translating the Constitution in all Ugandan languages. That is what specifically, in simple terms, Article 4 says about.
What happened? Because those deliberations and goals have not been met.
So that is the reason why we have decided to bring up ourselves to see that we implement Article 4. All the problems we are looking at in this country derive their problem from Article 4. because the country, the state specifically, because Article 4, the Constitution being the supreme law of the country,
Yes.
gives that responsibility to the state. But the state has decided to put it aside.
Okay.
When you look at Article 4 specifically, when you look at educational institutions, we have very many educational institutions in Uganda. I believe it starts from nursery. If we are to look at educational institution, nursery, primary, secondary, and then other
The tertiary
institutions.
Yeah.
But the reason why that idea came into me was that me as a person, I came to open the constitution when I joined law school.
That's where
Just
it's
to
from.
open the law which is governing us as a country when I joined law school. And I believe there are also other people like me who have been affected by the same problem.
Exactly. There are even legends that are even greater than you who have not even seen it in the years they have been in this earth.
And
They
we
do not even know.
pretend to be governed by the law.
Okay, let me first bring in Phionah. Phionah, this gentleman paints a vision for your organization, and that is creating awareness about the Constitution. But before even delving into that, what's your story as a person, and why are you a lawyer, and why are you really inclined to believe in such a vision by Filbert and yourself?
Okay, thank you. If I'm to talk about my background, and as Filbert has said, he opened the Constitution when he joined law school. It's not different from me. Actually, I even didn't know that we are governed by the Supreme Law Code, the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. I didn't know that up to when I joined law school. I'm in my 4th year now. I'm a law student at one of the leading private universities in Uganda. So that means that I'm not the only person, and there are those people that actually are not in law school, so they have no opportunity of getting that. Apart from those people that are being educated and know how to read, there are those lay people that don't know how to read English, you get.
Exactly.
So as per Article 4, it says that translation of or teaching of the Constitution in Ugandan languages, you get. But you find out that in Uganda we have mob languages. So you won't translate you won't just, publish Luganda Constitution. You find out that you have but he who owns the burden must carry that burden. If you're the government, and you know that in Uganda we have over 52 languages, then you have to get that burden on your shoulders and publish the constitutions for the people.
Because that's your mandate.
Yeah, that's your role.
Exactly, that's very true.
If we had to look at to those countries that we see, and we be like, we want Uganda to be at that level. When we look at those countries, because the law governing those countries is one of the leading factor to development.
Exactly.
So if you want the country to develop, but then the constitution or the law that is governing the country is in the language that the lay people can't comprehend and know that language. For example, if we are to look at our neighbors, what's happening in Kenya?
Exactly.
It's because people have the opportunity to read the constitution or their laws in their own language. That's Kiswahili.
In fact, that's very true. They are aware. When you even see, I was seeing something like a small tutor book for young children, but they're teaching them the law, the Constitution of Kenya. But as young as, 5-10 years? So what you say is actually
and
true.
you can't tell me that if we are at that level, we can't lead to development of the country.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then my other question would be, there is a narrative or a sentiment that this is deliberate. They're not interpreting these things. It's not because government has forgotten,
Yes.
but it's something deliberate. It's a plan that Ugandans should be kept in the dark when it comes to the law. What do you think about that narrative or school of thought?
Okay, that narrative that I won't say that it's an intention of the government, because when we look at this, government is not led by one person. Let's look at, there is this lay people narrative that everything, like the president should help us. It's not, president is not the government, you get, no. The president is not the government. The president is okay. It's not like the president will wake up one day and be like, I'm going to translate the constitution into Ugandan languages. There is there is a way these things, the procedure, the process, these things are done. There is a committee that is responsible for that. So for us, we are not here to call upon that committee to do its role. It's been over years and years, and they have not recognized that. For us, we are just a group of young lawyers that we have that ambition to teach the people about their rights, about the law that leads them, even when we don't have enough funds and, you know, to publish these constitutions in different languages. But at least we can lecture them in English because it's our official language.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem. I'll come to you and maybe ask you what are those things you're doing, because you've hinted on maybe lecturing them.
Yes.
But Filbert, what do you think about this sentiment that it's actually deliberate for Ugandans to be kept in the dark?
You know, sometimes as a patriot, a person who loves his country, I don't think it is deliberate on my side. It is only the language used by pessimists. People who don't think that things can be done. The problem...
No, but evidence has shown that some things cannot be done.
No,
because
no.
if it's what? The Constitution was enacted in 1995. That's 29 years ago.
Yes.
Don't you think you would have got enough time to teach and leverage it and interpret it and do everything that you need to do so that people know the Constitution?
You know, the Constitution being the supreme law of the land.
Exactly.
Under Article 1, it prescribes supremacy of the people. The power belongs to the people. So, the problem is people have not yet declared their power. So we have come now to show the people that it is we who are denying ourselves our rights. It is we, the people. The time, like for us right now, we have decided to come out that we have to promote public awareness of the Constitution and all other laws governing this country. The reason why maybe our brother Braro has been... Broro has been now, is going to be in court today, is maybe because he never knew. It is the ignorance of the law. So, therefore...
Or maybe some people are using the law to malign other people.
You know, even me sometimes I used to think like that. When, as a person who loves the country, I sat down one time and looked at all this. First of all, I looked at the Constitution. I looked at very many laws enacted in this country, very many amendments of the constitutions which have been going through. And I thought, like some of the people, that it is deliberate. When you look at Article 84, Clause 7, it is talking about how a member of parliament can be recalled. That we have a right to recall a member of parliament. But as we are talking right now, if you interpret that provision very well, we don't have that right.
No, I thought you go and get some signatories around.
No.
If the quorum can pass the number that is...
Do you have a copy of the Constitution and we let you know?
Computer, I don't think I have it here.
It is not like that. We only had that right during the movement system, but not a multi-party system. So that is why you see those gentlemen and ladies are doing whatever they are doing, which is not in the interest of the people, but in their personal interest.
People are
because
tired of
that.
Parliament.
So,
but people are tired, and I want you to just comment on this. People are tired of Parliament, and some people have a sentiment that we should just do away with it.
Even me, one time I thought of that, but there is no way we are going to do away with one of the arms of government, which, you know, those arms of government, the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature, are like cooking stones. Without one, there is no way you're going to prepare the food. Therefore, like, there is no way you're going to govern Uganda as a country. So there is no way we are going to say that we should do away.
I mean governed for 9 years.
Amin governed for 9 years, yes. But because Amin was a patriot, he loved this country. That is how he managed. But now we have the government in power, which, in my own opinion, I think, yes, loves this country, but not to the extent how Idi Amin Dada loved this country. That is what I can tell you about it.
Okay, no problem. Watching the Night Show. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Shout out to Mr. Kamoga Franklin Gooding. You're watching from San Francisco. Thank you so much for watching. I'm seeing your messages right here. But coming back to you, before I cross back to her, there's also this deliberate breaking of the law. For example, I'm going to give you cases. Legislators are released by court. They are rearrested by people we do not know. and it is business as usual. Like, people just disrespect the constitution in any way in this country. What do you think that can create in a country, or what are some of the effects if we continue to see this blatant dismissal of the law?
Yes. Edgar.
Yes, sir.
To be real, the problem is one. Majority of the citizens of this country are ignorant of the law. Even those people who are implementing the law themselves, they are ignorant. That is the problem. That is where the problem is there. That is where it starts from. So there is no way you're going to blame a person who doesn't know even what is doing.
What is the thin line between impunity and ignorance? Because now I'm looking, someone may use it as an ignorant issue, but yet actually they know, but they're trying just to disrespect the constitution itself.
Now you can say the thin line between impunity and ignorance is when you know something and you decide to go against it because you know there is nothing which is going to be done to you. That is the problem. And this happens because the power which is in the people, your power, we think we don't have, it is not our power. It is the power of those people who are implementing the law. That is the problem. But if we, the citizens of this country, get to know our power as the people, because we are the ones who put those people, the members of parliament are like all those people who are implementing the law, the executive, they are under the executive arm. Their work is to implement the law. We are the ones who pay them. They are like our employees.
They are our employees.
They are our employees, yes. But of course we don't know that.
We think they are our bosses.
Yes, we think they are our bosses.
Wow. That's very true, because when you realize the excitement, the elation that comes when they see a minister in that convoy and things like that, you see a lot of excitement. But Phionah,
yes.
Just also comment on that particular issue of the blatant dismissal of the law. People who are supposed to implement the law, to some extent use it for their own advantage. But I want you to just paint a picture of the harm that can come from such actions that are happening.
You know, there is, these things don't just come out of the blue. You know, there is one of the, I can say, philosophers, he's called Karl Marx. He said that the law and the state, okay, let me say that they are like twins. The state uses the law to oppress the lower class, you get. So let's take the state to be those people that use the law for their own benefit. People use the law for their own benefit, oppress the lay people, oppress the low class people, those that are ignorant of their rights in the law, you get. So that's why you can't separate the state from the law. And when the state is not there, the law is silent. When the law is not there, the state is silent. So the law and the state are like this. Always the upper class will use the law to oppress the lower class. So it's upon the lower class to get consciousness and overthrow the upper class to gain their rights and remove capitalism to bring communism or socialism according to
whatever they believe in, they can fight for their ideology and implement it.
Yes.
But that has been the character of Uganda's politics from even the 60s, that every group that comes to take power or to change has always come with its own constitution, implementing it. You remember 1966, you remember the dictatorial time. You know that all of us have always designed the law to suit us in that particular realm. But how do we outgrow such a politics? Because at the end of the day, don't we want to have a politics or a constitution like the United States, that where the amendments are counted? You can know the 11th Amendment was made in 1945. Like, there is a law that has governed the land over years. And don't you think it's something feasible we can look into as a people?
Yes, sometimes it's good to dream, but implementing that dream is hard. We can dream to have the law like that of USA, but coming to that stage, it's a number of years. So let's just say it's a matter of fact, and there is no, it's like there is no an exception to that, that the state and the law are separated. Even when another group overthrows the government, it will come with its own law, and it will use that law to oppress the people. So it's upon you, the lower class, to know your rights and fight for your rights. And there is no way you can know your rights or fight for your rights without knowing the supremacy that governs you. You can't fight for what you don't know. So if I'm a lay people and I'm a lay person and I don't know that I have this right, so how can I fight for that right? So after knowing my right, yes, I have a right to freedom of expression. So that's when I go ahead and fight for my freedom of expression. But before I know that, I can't fight for that. So that's why we are here as Seeds of Article 4 to promote awareness of the people's rights in the Constitution.
Okay, but to what extent do you have the right to enjoy your rights? Because I've heard that even your rights can be limited to some point. Do you want to paint a picture of some of the rights and their limitations? Where do I stop in, for example, my freedom of speech? I have that, right?
Yes.
So where do I stop? So do you want to paint a picture on the boundaries of the rights that we have as a people?
Okay. So there is this thing, if you, yes, you have a right, your right, but don't use your right to the detriment of others. Yes, the Constitution provides for those rights under Chapter 4, but then there are other laws that provide for the same and limit our freedom. Because if you're to give unlimited freedom or rights to people, everyone is going to suffer because of someone is enjoying his or her right, you get. So, for example, if we have freedom of, freedom of expression under the Constitution, but then if we are to paint a picture to this, how people use their, how people use X, Facebook, yes, you have your freedom of expression, but just know that you're governed by another law, not only the Constitution that provides, yes, people have a right to freedom of expression, but then you should enjoy your freedom in regards to other laws you get. So there is no one going to brief out like you have a freedom of expression, but enjoy it like this and this. You have to go ahead and read the law that is governing, not only the Constitution, but even other, for example, Computer Misuse Act. Yes, I have a freedom to use, my phones, my everything, but still, how am I going to use this? Do not do this, do not, maybe air out someone's voice without his or her consent. You get.
Okay, so all that comes from civic awareness as a person. That is Phionah Nshemerirwe, the Director Legal Affairs at Seeds of Article 4, that particular entity that is trying to create awareness, especially for young people in regards to the law, what you need to know about the law. I'm going to come to you, Philbert.
Maybe before you come to me, before you come to me, I wanted to comment on the question you have asked Phionah. The fact is, under Chapter 4, that is in specific Article 44, gives what they call non-derogable rights.
Yes.
Rights which cannot be limited. And then under Article 43, it also gives those, that it also prescribes how those rights are limited. Some rights are limited. Like under Article 44, we have a right to a fair hearing. It is not supposed to be limited anyhow. And under that right, when you read Article 28, it gives how a right to a fair hearing is enjoyed. But now, under Article 43, it tells us that there are limitations to some other rights. Even your right to life can be limited. Yes.
How so?
If you commit any criminal offense and you have been convicted by the highest court of Uganda, that is the Supreme Court, your life can be ended as long as it is in a legal manner. Yes. But now, yes, we have non-derogable rights and derogable rights. That one, we as the citizens, majority of the citizens of this country are not aware about it.
Correctly.
So, when we know that these rights, when you are enjoying them, they are supposed to be limited to this extent, we shall be enjoying our rights because we know them. But if you don't know, you are going to step on someone's foot, and that person is going to cry, and the government comes for you.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I used to enjoy that word non-derogable. It felt like I know a lot of English when I use it. but let me come back to you. And now the issue is using the military in literally every sphere of our country. You'll find military, I don't know what, constructing a road, building buildings, constructing schools, teaching. Why is it that it feels like the only tool we have is a nail, and every time we look at it, we just think we need a hammer?
As a patriot, when I started looking at the coming up of this country, I feel pain. Because there is a man who planted that seed. And it developed up to where we are. It was done by Obote. When
Obote
Obote attacked the Kabaka's palace.
1966.
Yes, that is when that seed of military governance started from. So, and then of course, was taken by Amin, you remember?
Yes.
He used to use a gun. But for him, what his was open, never wanted to hide it. But for today, it is intelligent, the use of the mind to use it. It is military. Now, when you look at the way things are going, the way things are running, even time is going to come, if you're not a soldier, you're not going to work under government. If you're not a soldier. So, yes, if your mind is looking beyond 10 years from now, if you're not a soldier.
Yeah, because right now, there's a ministry I know, and I won't mention, but literally everybody is kind of affiliated to a security organization. Starting from the minister, the state minister, the permanent secretary, most of the people there are all...
So, that is why we, as the people who love this country, have come up with seeds of Article 4 to tell people that your power is being taken deliberately.
What's the harm in that? Because one can say North Korea has thrived over time, same system.
No, the harm in that is that these people, whom we take as our employees, everything they are doing thinking about themselves and their families. They are not looking at the country as a whole. And even if you look at Uganda right now, Uganda, to my own opinion, Uganda is not like a country. It is like a continent of its own. That one will be of another day.
No, you can please highlight on it in just a minute.
Okay, in just a second. How is it?
Continent, really?
So, like for my case, I've tried to move from where I come from to other parts of the country. There is a time I was in Karamoja and I couldn't take water because I couldn't manage to speak to their language. You see, if we don't have a national language, there is no way you're going to say that this is a country. Like we are in Uganda right now. Majority of the people in Uganda must know how to speak Luganda. And even those people who have never moved out of Buganda think that Buganda is Uganda. Even those ones who have never moved from Karamoja know that Karamoja is Uganda. So tell me, each state governs its own. They don't know, they know that this is Uganda. So that is where the problem is. That we have first to fight for unity. We have to look at ourselves as Ugandans, not as the Baganda, the Ankole, the Karamojo, the Mutoro. Now you see, that is the problem. The first thing we have to celebrate on planet Earth, from the bottom of our hearts, it's to celebrate being a Ugandan or an African if you go out of the continent, and then that one comes later, of being that.
Thank you. Let me ask Nshemerirwe about that. There's a politics of identity that has been entrenched in our system over time. And you feel, and I'm going to use the last election as a litmus test. You see that Buganda supported the Muganda candidate. Okay. When he went to other regions, they were rejected. Oh, they were not voted. Well, some people say they were robbed of their election. Okay. But what do you think about that politics of identity that we have in Uganda?
Okay, thank you. I think if I'm to talk about politics of identity in Uganda, we shall take a holiday. But then still to come out, I think let's appreciate the fact that we've at least united. We've at least united. For example, if you go to some companies, media houses, you find coordination between different tribes. Let's just take out that fact. It's true. That's true. We've united, but still, politics is politics. It's like taking cocaine or taking alcohol. There is a way politics drives people insane, and you forget who you are. You see people risking their lives because of a politician, but that person is coordinating with the opponent, and you're there dying for that person. That's a matter of fact. People, those politicians, you see, coordinate.
That's a fact, that's true.
Yes, you find this is the opponent, but they are taking a cup of tea together in the evening, and you're there. I take it to be ignorance of, cheap politics. I say that's cheap politics. Me killing my brother or my sister because he's not supporting the person that I'm supporting, that is cheap politics. Yes, and it has been in Uganda. If you are to look at that, the past elections, I will still stand on my point that people play cheap politics.
How?
You can't tell me that maybe I don't support him. Even if I don't support you and you're coming to my region, I can be there just to lend you ears, but I know that you don't have my vote. Instead of bringing commotion and, strikes and violent acts to kill one another, but the person you're fighting for, he's taking billions of money. I think just we need to wake up and see that the people we are fighting for or the people we are dying for actually don't remember us when they get to those seats. I can't just wake up in the morning and you remove me from my bed to go on a campaign. Never.
But that means you don't love your country.
I do love my country, and I know the ideology someone is bringing, and there is no need of, going and be killed for nothing. Okay, when I die, who will
now the question is, why do you need to die when you show discontent in government? Because that's also something we should interrogate. Why is it that people need to die? Why do I have a fear that when I go to the streets I'm going to die? That means there's something wrong in the system itself. Do you think so?
There is nothing wrong in the system. Let's appreciate the fact that we have that, let's not have that ideology and look at the president as the government. You get, if the military have the right or have the responsibility of keeping order in the city, why would you go ahead and strike on the city, yet on the streets of the city, yet you know that I think this is also connected to ignorance of the law. You see people striking and going on the streets, but they don't know that a police officer has a right to keep law and order, and therefore he can use anything, tear gas, to take you off.
They say reasonable force, but this
reasonable force.
I don't know how we can quantify reasonable.
Can we, if we are talking about reasonable force, you're striking using stones and hitting. If that a stone can't, it's not something that can kill someone. But if you're using that stone, and if I'm to hit that stone with you, it can actually harm you. It's therefore a dangerous weapon.
But for you shoot, because I'm using a stone for you. It's like
if we are to look at reasonable force, you people, maybe the strikers are using stones to hit these police officers, and that stone is in that context. It's a dangerous weapon. If that guy or that police officer uses tear gas or comes and hits you with their, I don't know how they are called.
Some shoot. For you are looking at the small ones, but some shoot. Just to conclude your point, please.
But even these strikers are very violent. Me, I don't side with anyone. I don't side. It's not good to strike, and it's not good to shoot people. Yes, these police officers go ahead and use unreasonable force. But who has brought that? If you didn't come on streets to strike, would they use that unreasonable force? No, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't. That's a good one. Thank you so much. But where is the thin line between protesting, as the Constitution mandates me, and because I'm going to give you a case in point, there is a young lady, I'm forgetting her name, last week.
Yes.
She was arrested. One person, she went and was just protesting against the Speaker of Parliament, carrying her placard. So why would you arrest such a human being? Because, now, where is our freedom?
That is why I tell you that the problem is the ignorance of the law. That is not protesting. There is a difference between protesting and demonstrating. The Constitution allows us to demonstrate peacefully, and that was a peaceful demonstration.
So
it was not a strike.
Why was she arrested then?
Now, because she was arrested because, first of all, herself doesn't know the law. She has not appreciated the law. The state, and which is defending the Speaker. Even them, they are now using the law to oppress the citizens, because they themselves even know that even though we do whatever we do to these people, they don't know anything. So, like Phionah has stated something of striking. The Constitution does not allow us to strike. It only allows us to demonstrate peacefully.
Peacefully, yeah.
If I come out and hold that the speaker must resign. It is a peaceful demonstration. It is my personal opinion that there are very many reasons why I'm saying so. I've not just come out because I want her to resign. I've not come to throw stones to people. I have my opinions, very many of them. That is why I'm saying she must. I have a right because she's my employee. I'm the boss. So is that a strike? Have I damaged anyone? Have I hit anyone? No. It is my right to demonstrate peacefully because I know my rights are limited, and that right of demonstrating peacefully is also limited. So I'm not supposed to get stones to throw to people, but I'm just anyone. And why you arrest me?
I feel you, sir.
So the problem has been the problem of ignorance of the law in this country. And we pretend to be governed by the law. Even at Section 6 of the Penal Code Act Cap 120, even though they have revised some of the laws and they have been effected from 1st this month, says that ignorance of the law is no defense. But now who is going to tell me? I'm a child, I don't know even how to walk. Who is going to teach me how to walk? And you're telling me that knowing not how to walk is not a defense.
So let me ask you this. Then how do we create accountability? Because now we have realized that whatever you're saying is true. And by the way, the beauty about Uganda is that the problem has never been the laws.
Yes.
The laws are good. Yeah. They are there. But it's the implementation of these particular laws. So my question to you is, how do we improve this particular issue of these things happening, people disrespecting the Constitution and continuing as business as usual? How do we bring our leaders to account?
You know, when the Constitution came into implementation, this 1995 Constitution was ranked as one of the best constitutions in the world.
Exactly.
But the problem, we, the owners of the Constitution, don't know that we have the best constitutions in the world.
It was amended, so I don't think it's
right now, of course, because when you look at the Constitution, it is we the people who made this Constitution, the best Constitution in the world. But now, when people ganged up and removed our powers from us, they decided to turn the Constitution in their favor. So, if we want, first of all, if we want to solve problems, we have to identify problems. When we don't know that our Constitution, which was ranked the best in the world, has been turned into a toilet paper, there is no way we are going to make it again the best Constitution in the world. So therefore, first of all, let's identify the problem and look for the solution of that problem. The problem is the ignorance of the law in this country. So therefore, how are we going to solve that problem? That is why we have come up as Seeds of Article 4. We have dedicated ourselves, first of all, to appreciate the provisions of the Constitution. After appreciating or equating ourselves with the provisions of the Constitution and other laws, teach also other people the provisions of the Constitution and tell them that, yes, we are saying that we have the supreme law, which is the Constitution. But there are these problems here. How can we solve it?
Okay.
Let's come up as Uganda and solve this problem. Because right now in this country, everything has to be done in accordance with the law.
Sometimes
but I tell you,
the president says.
That is.
but they say the president's statement becomes law, right?
It's sometimes, of course, the president can decree, he can make a law that let this be done, as long as it is in the interest of the people.
Comment on the protest in Kenya. What do these Kenyans have? First of all, that protest was led by young children.
Yes.
Gen Zs, that's how they call them in this generation.
Generation
young kids,
Z, yes.
And they went to the street and they changed a lot of things. There are a lot of fundamental changes that have been made in Kenya.
Because, first of all, as a young person has a lot of energy. That is one. He knows his rights. That is two. He knows his powers. That is three. He can do whatever he wants as long as he has decided. There is nothing which can't be done in anywhere, in whatever place in the world. There is nothing. As long as a young person has decided, even you, Edgar, there is something you can do as long as you have decided to do it.
Sir, of course, sir.
That is, the only problem here is that,
Yes,
first of all, us, whenever we show that we know something, and we want to show it to the people, the first thing the state does is to intimidate you so that you fold your hands. And Marcus Garvey one time said that let's give up this idea of folding our hands like this and leave God to do everything for us. If God had intended that, He would have not created us with the brain. So therefore, it is us to come up, to use our brain and see how we can transform this country to the country we want.
Okay.
And also, one philosopher said, the most precious children is your children's children.
Exactly.
The only problem we have in this country, we only think of us and our children.
No, it's
and
us
it
alone.
stops there.
By the way, this generation of parents is shameless. It thinks about itself
Them alone.
Yeah, but let me come to you, Nshemerirwe. What do you think about the Kenyan protests? Is there something we learn, or you learn, or something that stood out for you in terms of how those people advocated for the changes that we are seeing today in their country?
Okay. The most fabulous thing that I loved about this is that people appreciate and know their law. People know their law. Why? Because it's in the language they understand most. That's the thing that came out, like, drove them to do the things they do.
There is awareness already of the problem.
Yes. But I think that thing can't happen here. Why? Because people don't know their law. They just use it in just the wrong way. They think what they have in their heads, it's what they must do. They think, I have freedom to do this and this and this and this. But have you read that freedom and how limited it is? It's not all about saying, I don't like this government. I don't like the things, the way they are being done. I must go to the streets. That's not the way. But those people did what they did because they appreciated their law. Though the way they protested and went on the streets, but it all, the energy they had that time, it was driven out of the appreciation of their law. But the most thing here in Uganda, ignorance, and it's caused by the fact that people don't access the laws, not because the laws are not in establishment or in publication. They are there, but people don't know their laws and don't appreciate their laws. Some don't know how to read English.
Exactly.
And appreciate.
There are those that are even lazy. They don't want to read. By the way, Ugandans
Yes.
don't like to read generally. Yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
and let's just appreciate that fact. It's a disease. It's a recognized disease in Uganda. Even those that know how to speak English don't know how to read English because the law is not just the way you read passages and paragraphs. You read, but appreciating and you know, bringing it out to explain. It's very hard. You can read. We can all read the same section, but appreciate it differently.
Exactly.
So I think just ignorance of the law in Uganda, it's driving us crazy. And the other side in Kenya, people appreciate the law and it drove them crazy in their way.
In their own way.
Yeah.
And maybe to comment on the problem of Africans, this is generally Africans who don't like reading. That is why we have come up to now help our brothers and sisters who don't like reading. We are going to read and appreciate them and explain to them. Because right now we are blessed with technology. Our information is not going to stop here. Everyone is going to listen to it. Therefore, that is why we are looking at the way of making sure that we are going to use all social media platforms to promote public awareness of the law. We are going to look for the way of saying that how we are going to call our brothers and sisters from different tribes, let me say so. And we see how we can help ourselves to make sure that our brothers and sisters who cannot read English and understand can be translated into their languages. We are praying to this country at first. First of all, to our young brothers and sisters to join us. Let's come and work for our country.
Joining at Seeds of Article 4.
Seeds of Article 4. We are also calling upon the state itself. We have dedicated ourselves to do what they were supposed to do. We don't call for any payment for it. We have sacrificed that. Let's do this, not for us alone, even for the next coming generations.
Exactly.
Because if we don't do it right now, this is going to do us the next coming time, not today, maybe tomorrow, but any time.
Okay, no problem. By the way, what you say is actually right. And for someone who has a vision, it's always very good to live for another person.
Yes.
Living alone, a life about you, does not impact really at the end of the day. Fulfillment comes from affecting other people's lives. But just paint a picture of the things that you have done as Seeds of Article, because we're coming to the end of this conversation. As Seeds of Article 4, where is your track record? What have you done so far? You've also highlighted on a few things, but you can be more intentional about highlighting on the things that you want to do and the vision and the kind of support that you will need as an entity.
As Seeds of Article 4, as students from law school, we came up with this idea and we wanted to share it with our, first of all, the institution. Because as we were beginning this show, we told you our history, that we joined law school. That is when we opened the Constitution. So we tried to share the copies of the Constitution with some of our colleagues in law in school, and we went to secondary schools because our main aim is to look at the young generation, even though, because they are saying that this generation is almost doomed. This one which is going, it is doomed. So we want to look at this young generation, the secondary school going students. We distributed some copies of the Constitution to some secondary schools. And our aim is to distribute the copies of the Constitution to secondary schools, lecture them, teach them the Constitution, establish constitutional clubs in secondary schools and other schools, other learning institutions, and also use social media platforms, specifically social media platforms, to preach, to promote public awareness of the Constitution and other laws. Like when you talk about corruption in this country, the Anti-Corruption Act of 2009 has dealt with that problem very well. But the problem is the implementers and the people who are also doing it don't know anything about it. That is where the problem is. So we have identified the problem. We are not supposed to stop there. We are supposed to get involved in transforming this country by doing anything you do. Edgar, right now, whatever you're doing it not only for you, but for the whole country.
Okay. Thank you. Give us your parting shots as we conclude this discussion.
My?
Parting shots, your last remarks.
My last remarks is that, first of all, I appreciate Digitalk, Alternative Drive, for giving us this opportunity to share our views concerning this country. And also, anyone who wants to reach us, we appreciate and we welcome, and we share more. If you want to reach Seeds of Article 4, you can reach to me or Phionah. You can call me using my telephone codes 0785 237588 or 0744 215268.
Okay.
And as I conclude, I call upon the three arms of government, that is specifically the judiciary, followed by the legislature, and then the executives. Let's not think of ourselves only, but let's think of the next generations to come. We are going to leave this country. Some people are not going to live more than 40 years from now. Maybe some of us.
Some of us will live even more than 60.
No. But think about the next other generations which are going to come before you, after you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Filbert. Phionah, your last remarks.
Okay, I appreciate for this opportunity, and I call upon people to appreciate, to get, okay, even when you're not a lawyer or you don't want to be one, but it's like now you're right to know your laws, to know the laws that are driving you in this country, starting with the Constitution, which is the supreme law, and get to know other laws For example, the Penal Code Act, I know anyone can be caught up abruptly that you've committed this offense. So it's upon you to know, and to know that you being ignorant of the law is not a defense, that I didn't know that this was constituting a crime. Yes, and as Seeds of Article 4, we are therefore here, like, as we said, Article 4 is all about awareness of the Constitution. We are not politically driven. We are just young lawyers, ambitious, as one of the statements in our anthem, that we are the pillars of, you know, tomorrow's Uganda. So I call upon everyone to be a good pillar. Don't use the law to oppress other people. And when you know the law and you find someone that is ignorant, just feel pity and, you know, maybe lecture him or her and tell him to get away of the law that is driving them in the country. And as Seeds of Article 4 on our X handle, we use Seeds of Article 4.
Okay.
Yes.
So X, Facebook, are you there, or it's just X alone?
It's now X and TikTok, because people use a lot of, are always on TikTok.
What is on TikTok? That Ugandans love like nothing. I was reading a survey that I think 70% of Ugandans West, they are that, and I'm going to use the word West on TikTok. What is there that is so special?
TikTok is if people think that TikTok is a wastage of time, I say it's not a wastage of time. It's according to how you use it. If you're on TikTok to watch comedy, therefore, for us, if I don't love comedy, I will say you're wasting time. But if you're learning from comedy, it's not wastage of time. So how you use TikTok it depends.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Thank you. Maybe
Share,
lastly,
share your number.
yeah, you can share your contacts.
If I'm to share, my contact is 077 64 98 116, and that's on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yes.
And call with purpose. Some people just but because they have a few minutes. What do you guys do? I want to pick you. What is something that you enjoy to do in your time, relaxation time? Do you even have that relaxation time, sir?
I can say I do, but during my relaxation time, I always watch my role models.
Yeah.
The likes
and
of...
I was going to guess, but continue, because
yes.
I know a few of those.
I have role models, the people I want to be like them. The likes of Nkwame Nkrumah, Malcolm X, the likes of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Man.
Recently, I lost my role model. That was John Pombe Magufuli of Tanzania.
Oh, sorry.
I have a role model who is still living,
Okay.
and that is Professor Patrick Loch Otieno Lumumba of Kenya.
Of course.
So
I was waiting for that name. Sorry for
whenever I'm free, I borrow the knowledge from them, and that is how I use my free time.
Thank you so much. Nshemerirwe, how do you spend your free time?
I love making out meeting new people and interacting with new faces. I love making new friends. I love talking about, and it makes me happy when I find someone when he or she doesn't know about something and I know about it. I love lecturing and teaching them. Yes.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Teaching is the better one. When you say lecturing, it comes off wrong, but it's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute.
It is just the language.
Yes, 1 minute to the top of the hour. I don't know if you guys know the vision you have, but it's a great vision. So, the discipline will be needed in order for you to achieve it, but it's very big. And it's a vision that can take you an entire lifetime to achieve, but also to pass on to the next generation. So I commend you students for whatever you're doing right. It's exactly 9 p.m. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. I have been with this gentleman, Filbert Opeitum. He is the CEO for Seeds of Article 4 Constitution, and of course, Phionah Nshemerirwe, who is the Director Legal Affairs at the same entity. They're trying to create awareness for the law, the rule of law, and advocate for knowledge. So at the end of the day, it's about you going back, reading through these things, and making an informed decision. Because if you do not know the law, it does not make you free from any accusation or crime committed. So ignorance of the law is no defense. That has been the biggest takeaway. Follow us on our social media platforms. That is at Digital TV on Facebook, at the Alternative Uganda still on Facebook. You can also follow me personally. That is at Edgar M. Karuhanga on Facebook. You can also put in Edgar M. Karuhanga on X. You'll be able to get me there. Those are the only 2 social media platforms I am at this moment. See you tomorrow. It will be Woman Crush Wednesday. We'll have Luede and Farida coming here for the show. See you tomorrow, same time, same station. God bless you, and God bless Uganda.
At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sawagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machindye, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m., Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiza Besije every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are the Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.